So guys, week 2 has passed and week 3 is coming. And from week 2 there was only one prediction I got exactly right, and that was the Arsenal-Burnley game. Although I think it was. Or did I say 3-1? I haven't a clue, guys. I'm going to have a look. However, noting that Arsenal are brilliant to watch when they play at the Emirates, I think Arsenal will win 2. Yep, I was right. 2-1. Yes. But for the other 9 games, I was not so lucky. So, now that we're done with week 2, we're on to week 3. So here are my predictions for week 3 of the Premier League this season. So here we go. Aston Villa v Everton. See, Aston Villa had the worst possible start in their game against Bournemouth, and it proved really costly in the end. I still think Villa are a good team, because in that game they created chances and they could have nicked something at the end. Unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. So Everton's season is off and running with their win against Watford in a game where they played really well. It's just, I felt they should have scored more goals. Don't think Everton will have much trouble getting past Aston Villa here, although I do think Aston Villa can cause them problems as well. But it will be hard for Villa to score past and keep out Everton. But either way, I think Everton will win 2-1. Norwich v Chelsea. I think now is the time for other teams to be extra careful, not just coming up against Norwich, but against Teemu Pukki. As you probably know already, he scored 4 goals in 2 games, so he's bound to get many more this season. Performance-wise, Norwich were never really troubled by Newcastle at all. They were the much better side on the day, and I was really impressed with their performance. So against Chelsea, who are currently winless, Norwich will look to do the same, since Chelsea at the moment can handle games and they are leaky in defence. First half performance, Chelsea are very good at attacking, and in the first half I felt they should have scored more, but in the second half, they lost control of the game, and in my opinion, lucky they hadn't lost. So they're going to need to be well prepared going into this one. I think both sides will cause each other problems. I expect both their defenders to be leaky, but I think this one will end all square. 1-1. Brighton v Southampton. Good start to the season for Brighton, although I felt they should have won against West Ham because I thought they were the better team. Still, they played really well in that game, so against Southampton, I think they will do the same. Southampton improved from their defeat against Burnley, even though they played exceptionally well against Liverpool. They were really unlucky not to have nicked a draw. Well, they were lucky with the goal they scored, if you know what I mean. Despite that, Southampton played much better, so I think they will do the same against Brighton. I think this will be quite an even game because I think both sides will be going at each other for the win. But I can only see a share of the spoils happening here. 1-1. Manchester United v Crystal Palace. United should have won their game against Wolves last night, but unfortunately for them, they didn't. Had they scored that penalty last night, then they could have nicked all 3 points. And of course, let the players decide who's taking the penalty. That doesn't sound right to me. It's the manager who should make these decisions, really. For their performance, United were excellent in the first half, and they really should have had the game done and dusted by half-time. But then, the second half, Wolves vastly improved and United lost control of the game. Crystal Palace, still struggling for goals, aren't they? They offered absolutely nothing against Sheffield United, and they were second best all over the park. If they don't start improving, they could be in big trouble this season. As for the game, I think United will be too strong for Crystal Palace, and I think they will have no trouble getting past them whatsoever. Therefore, I think United will win 3-0. Sheffield United v Leicester. I'm impressed with Sheffield United. They were all over Crystal Palace, the much better team on the day, and deserved to win on a day they will never forget. See, their goalkeeper was never tested at all, and their defence was not troubled whatsoever. However, I think they will be tested a lot more playing against Leicester. It was a game of 2 halves for Leicester, because in the first half they were sluggish, in the second half they were the much better side, and I felt they deserved to win the game. If they hadn't wasted all those chances, then they would have done. It's enough for me to predict that there'll be a handful for Sheffield United and Anto, because their defence will be much more tested this time. It'll also be difficult for Leicester to score past Sheffield United, but no matter, I think Leicester will take the honours. 2-1. Watford v West Ham. Bad start to the season for Watford. 2 defeats, no goals scored, and no wins. Well, they had some moments where they could have scored against Everton, they just didn't take them. I think Watford will improve, and I also think that this game will kickstart their season. West Ham didn't have a good start either. They were second best in both of their games, but against Brighton, I felt they were really lucky. Improvements are also needed at West Ham. without a doubt. But despite their bad starts to the season, I think Watford and West Ham will improve as the season progresses. As for the game, I think Watford will take the positives from their last game and get back to winning ways, so it's going to be very difficult for West Ham to keep them out. For my prediction, I think Watford will win 2-0. Liverpool v Arsenal. Well, for some strange reason, Liverpool didn't really play at their best against Southampton. Their defence was quite wobbly and that nearly costed them the win. Still, they took their chances, which is what they're good at, and that's all that matters. Arsenal weren't particularly brilliant against Burnley, but that's what they're good at as well, taking the opportunities when it falls for them. And both teams have really good starts to the season. As for the game, I think Liverpool will make it a third successive win. It's going to be interesting to see if Arsenal can put Liverpool under pressure and make it difficult for them, but they too have got a lot of work to do on their hands. So I think Liverpool will win 3-1. Bournemouth v Manchester City. Bournemouth played really well in their last game. They made an excellent start to the game and for about 75 minutes, they shut up shop. Well, they might want to think about shutting up shop for a bit longer against this Man City team. See, Man City were once again excellent to watch playing against Tottenham, but they should have won. They really should have won. I'm not a fan of this new handball rule. I think it's utterly ridiculous and completely unfair. Not just on City, but for other teams as well. So, it's a stupid rule. But it is what it is, I suppose. Which is sad. I think City will get back to winning ways again and they'll be too hot for Bournemouth to handle. If it's to win the title again, they've got to keep winning games from now on. So my prediction is 3-0 Man City. Tottenham v Newcastle. Spurs were very lucky, weren't they? They didn't even play well either. I suppose VAR must have a soft spot for them or something. However, they've got the draw and that's all that matters. Newcastle hadn't had a good start to the season at all, haven't they? They didn't pose any threat to Norwich at all in that game and they were all over the place. I think it's going to be really difficult for them this season. Unless they turn something around, then they'll be fine. But I don't think Newcastle will be much of a problem to Spurs in this game. I think Tottenham will give them a hard time, put them under pressure and win the game 2-0. Wolves v Burnley. Both sides played well at the weekend. See, Wolves didn't have a good first half against United, but they got the result which I think their second half performance merited. See, Burnley certainly made it difficult for Arsenal, but sadly they didn't get the result they wanted. So this is going to be quite a tight and even game because Burnley always make hard work for other teams and Wolves play good attacking football which puts a lot of teams under pressure. However, I think it'll be a draw because I can see Wolves struggling to get past Burnley and Burnley struggling to create opportunities just because they're trying to keep out Wolves. So I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. So there you have it, guys. Those are my predictions for week 3 of the Premier League this season. Still the third week of the season. Still too early, so you still never know what's going to happen. Besides, big teams may slip up and the other teams can pull a surprise out of the hat at the most unexpected time. But you can only watch and see what happens, I suppose, so we'll do that. So guys, that is actually it for this video, so please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like my videos and if you haven't already, and please turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of my videos, and please leave a like if you like my video and a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!